Alright, so first we are going to watch Brandon Herrera's testing Alec Baldwin's Revolver theory. Let's go.
What is up, you sexy YouTube mother lovers? As you might notice, today's video looks a little different. That's because it's being shot on a tripod. Because frankly, DeLance did not want to be here, because last time somebody filmed with one of these, it did not...
Real talk though, I don't know what gun that is, but it looks cool as fucking shit. I really like the, like, black and gold and, like, wood. I like when guns, like, look cool and not, like, just, like, blank steel gray, you know what I mean? I feel like if you're gonna have one, make it look cool.
And, well, for the camera person. I'm just kidding, I paid DeLance way too much to be
a
here.
Revolver? Yeah, it's a Revolver.
Is the
but I like when they look cool.
73 Colt Single Action Army in 45 Long Colt, made by Pieta. This is the revolver that appears to have been used in the infamous incident involving Alec Baldwin on the set of Rust. Not this exact revolver, that one is probably in an evidence locker. Today we're going to be putting a couple of myths to the test as far as like with this revolver.
Might as well have a firearm that looks cool. Yeah, if you're going to have one. I mean, they're expensive anyways. Get yourself a pink Glock. If you're going to statistics someone, you better look Gucci. I have a what? M&P shield. That's what I have.
Can it be fired without pulling the trigger like Alec Baldwin claims it was? But aside from that, this is just a wonderful piece of history. So we're going to respect it for that because this was a very cool weapon before it was used by some Hollywood dipshit to shoot someone. So with that in mind, let's channel our inner image.
I remember that. Alec Baldwin was apparently on set, and apparently there was supposed to be there was a blank in it. And he says it went off, he didn't even touch the trigger, and it went off, and it killed, like, an assistant or something like that. I have a brick and maybe a shoe.
Julio Estevez from Young Guns, and put this through her paces.
See, it just looks so much cooler with, like, the gold. Whoa, those are really big. A single action means you have to pull back the hammer every time? Oh. If I was messing around on set with a gun and killed someone, I would also say I didn't touch the trigger. Was that gun named El Diablo? I have a plastic sword. You could do some damage. How hard's the plastic? See, like that, you have to pull it back every time. It's one of the safest designs. Yeah, because it's not, you're not going to accidentally shoot a second time.
There's a new sheriff in town, and he hasn't ruled out manslaughter charges. Now, if you guys recognized and or liked the song that we used for that montage there, you should probably subscribe. I feel like you'll like it here.
Thank you, Brandon.
The 45 Long Colt Single Action Army is one of the most iconic handguns of the American West.
I recognize it, if that means anything. I've got a 45 Colt Magnum that's pretty badass. That sounds cool. Those are really big, right? Yeah, do you know this guy's running for office in Texas? I got a rifle revolver that does that. It's Gucci. It's hard enough to bruise a hip with walking with it. Well, if you're walking with your sword banging into your hip, probably.
So iconic, it's used very often in Western films, including the new film, possibly still coming out, called Rust, starring Alec Baldwin. On October 21st, 2021, actor Alec Baldwin used this particular model of firearm in an accidental/negligent discharge that killed his cinematographer and wounded his director. In later interviews, he claimed that he didn't pull the trigger and that the pistol went off by itself. We're gonna put that...
That right there feels suspicious to me. What do you mean you didn't pull the trigger? Maybe there was an issue with it, I guess. I've seen a few of these gun videos from people, and they do sometimes go horribly wrong. Just by design of something with a gun goes horribly wrong. Mega sus. He's running for Senate or something now. Oh. I don't know much about him. I've only seen his gun videos, but he seems cool. He didn't check safety before shooting the scene. And don't they have a gun person on set to handle those things?
To the test. But real quick, we'd like to thank the people who allowed us to get this prop for the channel.
Today's sponsor is Rise of Kingdoms.
Rise of Kingdoms.
Rise of Kingdoms is trying to focus on civilizations. Are you a Roman Empire guy or kind of more of the Viking blood? In Rise of Kingdoms, you
What's
decide.
a SIG?
I fall more on the Roman side just because, well, Caesar's Legion was awesome.
Degenerates like
I just learned that the Romans were in Rome.
There are 12 total civilizations in the game. Rome, Germany, Ottoman,
I feel like it should have been
Byzantium,
obvious, but I
Vikings,
honestly
etc.
did not
Every
know.
civilization has its unique soldiers,
Rise of
architecture,
Kingdoms. Is it a fun
commanders, and its
game?
own buff.
Looks
like
fun.
a traditional strategy game, upgrade your buildings, train
Looks
your
like,
soldiers, cultivate your commanders, and research
Civilization game.
technology to improve your combat power. The battle scenes in
This
Rise
is a
of
sponsorship
Kingdoms
for
allow you
Rise
to
of Kingdoms.
experience
If you want to
distinctive
download
soldiers
it,
and
use
generals of
Brandon's
12
code.
different civilizations. Thanks to different talents and characteristics, they can counter each other.
This
which gives a
congressional
stronger
hearing
strategic
sponsored by Raid
experience.
Shadow Legends.
Join the battle and turn the tide with whatever of the 12 civilizations you decide is the strongest. The best part is if you download
I always
now
like
using my
watching
link in
their
the description
sponsored
and
parts
in
of
the
their
pinned comment,
of their
you can get
videos
a
if I'm watching their
special bonus
videos.
and limited
Feels
time
like the only
rewards.
right thing to
Thanks
do.
again to Rise of Kingdoms for supporting my channel
Only
and my
fair.
content.
They're trying to get their
Back to the
bag.
video.
So now, of course, just like any other range video we do, it's time to show you the power of the 45 long Colt cartridge out of one of these Colt single-action armies. Except instead of our typical White Claw penetration test, we now have, for this particular video, two...
If there was a gun person on deck and then he was fucking around with it when he wasn't supposed to, I'm pretty sure they have to have a gun person on deck, right? On movie sets?
White Claws spaced an appropriate distance apart for no reason that is relevant to this particular...
Love that he always shoots a White Claw.
All right, halting production in 3, 2,
Halting production.
1.
What?
That's weird.
Did he miss?
A blank round? I don't know how that got on set. I'm gonna have to take that one up with the producer. Anyway, actually doing this test in 3, 2, 1.
There we go. That's the money shot.
God, I love Western revolvers.
The gun person for the Alec Baldwin didn't want to do it and wasn't very experienced. Ah, yeah, you should definitely have someone
All right,
experienced.
so we have our first claw here. We had
It ripped
here,
right through it,
and
dude.
an exit here.
Those are big
Interesting
bullets.
rippling going on in the stamped aluminum here on the claw.
The reason he
And then we
shoots
had our
White Claws
second
is because they
claw,
refuse to
which
sponsor him.
This would have been
That's
entrance
so
here,
based.
An exit here. Of course, there's plenty of energy to keep going. The loads that we're
They
using
said, "Please
today
stop using
are,
our White
cowboy
Claws," and he's
loads.
like, "I'm gonna
They're,
shoot
just
one
a
every
solid
time."
lead projectile where your standard pistol rounds are going to be full metal jacket, you know, some sort of copper, zinc coating, something, instead of just...
I'm still not clear on what a full metal jacket is. Does anyone know? Since Brandon Lee was shot, the rules got a lot stricter. The charge for murder is levied against the filming studio, not the holder of the gun on set. Oh. Brandon Lee was the guy in Crows. Okay. Guns don't kill people. Alec Baldwin kills people. A full metal jacket's a type of bullet. It's armor-piercing rounds. Okay, thank you.
Solid lead, where these are more cowboy loads. They're a little more appropriate to use on kind of period pieces. Older style revolvers weren't really built to handle the pressures of modern cartridges, so you use things that are slightly downloaded. They don't carry necessarily as much velocity, but still, they clearly pack a decent punch with a very, very heavy projectile. One could say much more energy than the typical blank round that should be used on every Hollywood set.
I feel like he's judging me.
So, in the accidental shooting in question involving this gun, Alec Baldwin, in later interviews more recently, has claimed that he did not pull the trigger, as he would never point a weapon at anyone and pull the trigger. Now, those of us with a basic understanding of firearms and/or physics knows that at least one of those two things is physically impossible.
That's what I'm saying. What do you mean you didn't pull the trigger? The guns just don't go off. Even the gun videos I've seen where it's like something horrible happens, like the gun explodes or backfires or whatever, you still have to pull the trigger. Here in Canada, we can't shoot full metal jackets for hunting. Really, it's for target practice. They have a metal jacket around the LED and deforms less on impact. Ah, okay. Thank you, thank you.
And or both, considering
Lead,
that a live firearm
not LED.
was discharged and hit a person, actually 2 people. But now let's go ahead and test to see if it is possible to fire this weapon without having pulled the trigger. Now, one of the things on the 45 long Colt single-action
I don't know how
Army,
he's going to
model
test this.
1873 in particular, it has a protruding firing pin into the area of the frame of the gun where the cylinder rests. You see, on a centerfire cartridge, this little spot here in the middle of the back of the casing is the primer. This is what ignites the round and causes it to fire. Only when it's struck by the firing pin. Now, if you pull the hammer back, you see this little bit right here is the firing pin that strikes the primer and causes the weapon to discharge.
Okay, so that little pin right there has to hit the back of the bullet. When it hits the back of the bullet, it ignites the gunpowder and shoots it forward, correct? Okay, I think I get it. You need a pretty severe malfunction to have it go off without pulling the trigger. Yeah, a ghost or something.
Now, on this revolver, when the hammer's all the way forward, you can see that the firing pin is actually visible through the side as protruding into the area where the
I didn't know that. You can actually see the pin?
Where it strikes the primer. So let's go ahead and load our live round. We have a otherwise empty revolver here. I'm showing you I'm doing a basic safety check because I'm responsible for what happens on the set of my videos. Loading our
I love this shade he gives. He never holds back in his videos. He always gives so much shade. Tippy's getting it? Yeah. As someone who has some guns, I probably should know the basic information, but I don't. To be fair, I don't have it on me. No gun safety. Yeah, I know gun safety. The shade is so funny. I love it.
Here, advancing that round into the position where it will be next. Go ahead and lightly let that hammer forward. And we are now...
Real quick, I feel like the basics of gun safety is never have your finger on the trigger. That's the basic of gun safety. Yeah, I took a gun safety class, and that's like the #1 thing. Just don't put it on it. So the fact that he said he just never pulled the trigger, like, did you take the course? Did you learn? Yeah, we're using proper etiquette. You're never supposed to have your finger on the trigger until you're ready to shoot.
Sitting on a live round. So let's see if we can
That's
go
the
ahead
#1 rule. It's like the it's like the only rule.
My finger is nowhere near the trigger. We have a live round aligned with the barrel and the hammer here.
Yeah, that and don't aim it at people.
Hammer. I meant to bring a hammer out here to just show that. See if you can get this to go off without fucking puncturing the side of my hand with a sharp ass hammer. Seeing if you can get this to just go off from sheer just impact force or anything alone. Now, I don't have a hammer, but the closest thing I had in my truck was an AK magazine, which for all intents and purposes, it's basically the right tool for the job, I think. All I am succeeding in doing is fucking up the knurling on a brand new, previously unfired revolver.
And legit, the second rule is to treat the gun like it's always loaded. Are the two big ones. Never have your finger on the trigger, never point the barrel at anything you don't want to destroy. Yeah, it seems so simple, and I feel like if it shoots it, like, first of all, you were aiming it at someone. You had to have been. And two, you had to have pulled the trigger. If you didn't pull the trigger, you still shouldn't have been aiming it at someone. There's only 2 rules, and both of them were broken.
Again now, still finger off the trigger, a little bit up more from the bottom to get kind of more direct impact on this hammer surface here. Nothing.
Nothing.
Let's go ahead and inspect this cartridge. And if you look there, actually, we have a little bit of an indent on the back of the primer.
It just wasn't enough force. I think you guys can agree that was a little bit of an extreme example. I don't think he was taking an AK mag and beating the back of his revolver with a live round in the chamber. I'm telling you, he curved it like it wanted. I remember that movie. That was good.
You would have to be really, really, really beating on the back of that thing to make an indent like we did. Now, why is that? So the Piettas in particular, I don't know about other reproductions, and I especially don't know about the original
Hi, Lucky. Welcome in.
Like was specifically mentioned, was used by Alec Baldwin. Have a firing pin here that is not fixed. So as you look here, it has a bit of give to it. I'm not sure if it's spring-loaded, but it has a bit of give so that when it's resting on that, it can move a little bit. So it's not directly converting pressure or impact into energy into the primer.
That's a smart design. See, I wouldn't think of that. But if you're going to design a gun, have the pin have a little bit of give to it so that it's not constantly pressing up against a bullet inside of it. It can move around a little bit. Because it needs like the intense, like, bang, right? To set off the gunpowder.
And just to prove to you, of course, this isn't a hit piece. That is the round that we had made indentations on. I'm going to go ahead and load this and prove that this is an actual live round and could be fired.
Violent force quickly. Yeah, it needs that.
There you go.
It still works.
So let's try another method. So we're going to load up another live round here into the chamber.
I like how safe
And
he is with
now,
it, you know?
As you can see here with the brass
Like how he
here, we're
holds it away
rotating
from
that
him and stuff.
into place where that is now
Force of
square
some sort
behind
has
the
to be a
hammer.
factor.
So the other possibility, and I think this is what Alec Baldwin is claiming happened, is he was practicing his cross draw and was pulling the hammer back, didn't pull the hammer back all the way, released it back forward, and that is what discharged the round. Which still doesn't explain why he was pointing a live firearm at another human being, but you know what? Semantics. That's for the lawyers to decide. Right now, we're just going to determine if that is a possible scenario, in which case this gun could be...
Let me make a guess. I still feel like it wouldn't be enough force even halfway pulled. It also needs to be fast enough to ignite as well as cause physics. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess if he pulled it back halfway and let it go, I still don't feel like that would be enough force.
Fire. So we're gonna test that here. You know, put this to the test while we're in a controlled and safe environment. YouTube, we are in a controlled and safe environment.
Brandon's got to protect that monetization.
So the trick is going to be...
Hey, Tippy. Hi, Larper. Welcome in.
Point where it doesn't start advancing the cylinder. All right, so it seems that point's about here. So let's try to...
Yeah, see, it's not enough force, even pulling it back halfway.
I don't think we're going to get anywhere on that. And for those asking why...
Both of them are blue. Both of my eyes are blue. You're going crazy.
These have something called half cock. So if you... let's go ahead and get that live round out of there so I can demonstrate this. Again, partially struck, you can actually see where this has had multiple
Yeah, it's just not enough force.
From that free-floating firing pin on the...
The problem with people like Alex Baldwin doing this stuff is that they don't have respect for the weapon. You know? That's a very dangerous weapon, and you should always keep that in mind. Yeah, you don't point your car, you don't have someone standing in front of your car and punch the gas and be like, oh, I thought it was a neutral. You treat the car with respect. And I feel like people like Alex Baldwin, the actors and stuff like that, they don't treat it with respect. That's the issue, lack of respect. They're not respecting the weapon and what it can do. Like you said, even if it went off, there's no reason it should have ever been pointed at anyone. Never go full cock, only half cock. Alex Baldwin in a big anti-2A guy. People went hard on him for this. I really don't know anything about Alex Baldwin. The checker didn't even have enough respect to keep it safe.
Primer, but
it also should have never just had anything in it, even a blank.
Actually strike the round. Next time I fire this, I'm going to
show
show
you
you guys
nothing in
see
it.
what an actual struck round looks like. This is
you
definitely
can add it
making
in
an
effects.
impact, but it's nowhere close to being.
It should have never been loaded. He was practicing a move with it.
All the way forward,
take the round out of it.
That's full cock, right? Giggity. Half cock is when you pull it halfway back, and it has a little catch here, and this allows you to freely rotate the cylinder. Like if you've seen me pulling out the fired brass on this.
Oh, I didn't know you could do that.
Half cock. This is just kind of a safety that allows the cylinder to freely move while not in danger of firing a round. It is also important to point out that you cannot pull the trigger on half cock. The cylinder is freely moving. If you fire
Caesars, thank you for the resub. How are you?
It's a great way to explode.
Merry Christmas, Tippy
They do not allow
Hendrix.
you to pull the
Thank
trigger while
you.
have
Merry
it
Christmas.
set. And if you pull the hammer any farther back than half cock without going to full
Half cock.
it just
Can we get a half cock
sets you right back to
timer?
half cock. So that impact has to be made before you get to half cock, and realistically, it has to be before that cylinder starts to rotate. Otherwise,
we're trying to figure out if Alex Baldwin actually lied about that time that he killed that person on set. I'm going with the fact that he did not do what he said. I'm going with that. I don't think he did. I think he did have his finger on the trigger. I think it was loaded. I think he did point it at someone. Who the heck is Alec Baldwin? I don't know, some old guy.
that primer does not align with the firing pin, so it doesn't even
I think he's an
matter.
actor.
So it has to be in this range here. All right, now, of course, just to show you, this is the round that we were striking earlier. This is still a live round. I am not flubbing anything. Put that back in the gun.
I like that he's just honest about the testing. Nice! He hit it.
That is what a round looks like when it has been struck.
See, it's a lot of force.
You see the indentation on the primer is significantly deeper. Something, the gun likes it when it's deeper. I don't know. Now,
Come on, chat. Give me the joke.
Real quick, because I'm going to demonstrate what I think might have actually happened. I think this is the most plausible theory outside of intentional homicide, which I'd like not to think about. And quick shout out to Tim from Military Arms Channel, because I think he just did a video, I think like a day before we filmed this, and I think he had a similar theory as to mine.
What's the theory?
I'm moving to an empty cylinder real quick just to demonstrate. On these old revolvers, it is possible to already have your finger on the trigger and not pull the trigger, but just have pressure on the trigger and pull the hammer back and completely miss the sear that disconnects the trigger there.
Oh, so he probably already had his finger on the trigger and then went to go cock it back and it just set off. Like he had a little bit of pressure on it. That makes sense,
So it is entirely possible that Mr. Baldwin was not actively, like, pulling the trigger, but just had his finger in the right place, drew his revolver, and fired a round.
Okay.
I'm not going to demonstrate that from a draw, just because that's basically swinging around a loaded gun with your finger on the trigger.
That actually makes a lot of sense.
And a live round in the chamber. That's safe, and as it turns out, not good for your staff. But this in particular is why it is popular in Western movies to be able to fan revolvers.
You just keep your finger with pressure on the trigger. You don't have to pull it each time.
Of course, that's just my theory. If I'm incorrect and if I've been completely wrong on all
this,
we
have a single action.
Alec Baldwin an apology, and I'll man up to that. But so far, this seems like the most likely thing to me. This, of course, still does not explain why there was live ammunition on set for any reason. Especially since he was
That's the part that gets me. There should have never been live ammunition.
Producer, you know, the kind of person whose job it is to make sure
fat finger to
like
human
this
life
doesn't happen, and that there isn't.
Keep your fat fingers off of the trigger.
Does not account for the failures of the people whose responsibility it was to make sure shit like this couldn't happen in the first place. The armorers, etc. I just kind of hope, as with Darwin Awards, this just goes to show you guys that you need to respect firearms, no matter
That's what we were
state they're
saying.
in,
You have
or
to
whatever
respect
state
them.
You're told they're in. You need to verify. If somebody says a gun isn't loaded and they hand it to you, you don't just start willy-nilly pulling the trigger. You verify, you look through, you do the basic safety checks, and that applies to everybody.
Quick draw revolver fire. A lot of cowboys would do that trick, where you just pull it back and go bang, 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 bang.
I feel like I accidentally might have gotten kind of preachy there, so I'm going to use this prop gun here and take out this can of Shiner Light Blonde. As a new Texan, I think it's important that I defend the good name of Shiner.
Hey, he's a Texan.
Get rid of this shit. Don't worry, Shiner, the prop department told me this is unloaded.
Oh, God!
Okay, I purposely angled that so I might hit the steel target behind that, and I totally fucking heard it. I don't know if that came through on camera. Fuck, apparently all I have to do to hit targets at fucking 30 yards is,
hammer. Oh, I didn't know that was what it's called. Makes sense, fanning it. Ding! He hit both.
Anyhow,
that's actually a good
I hope
shot.
you enjoyed this video and that you thought my theory at least makes a little bit of
sense. It makes way more
context.
sense than what Alec
Of course,
Baldwin
none of us
said.
outside of Mr. Baldwin and literally everybody else who was there on set that day, and probably a handful of attorneys, will ever know what actually happened that day. But if you have your own theory, go ahead and let me know down in the comments. That's all I got for you today. I'm going to go ahead and put this big iron back on my wall.
He does have a nice wall of
guns
behind him
always,
in his
I will
videos.
see you sexy YouTube mother lovers in the next video.
Thank you, Brandon. I like that. That was good. Alright. So...